Hello, friends. It's Gail, and we're here together again to talk about our theme of freedom from the fear of rejection. I hope that you may have had a chance to listen to the introduction video that tells more about my personal story, about how God set me free from the fear of rejection. And it began back in my family life, my growing up years. And this is so true of all of us that those early experiences with families and extended families and friends really do shape who we become. For me, my mother and father just weren't able to create an emotional connection for my brother and me so that we could really experience their love. And what happened is that caused me to want to perform for them, try to measure up for them. And that's why this first defense we want to talk about is performing to gain acceptance or approval or love, whatever it is you are craving, but you perform for it. You try to earn it. And that's what happened in my earlier years. I tried to be compliant for sure, to get the best grades I could, to just say yes to whatever I should say yes to and no to what I needed to say no to. But the problem was my focus was on that. And what happened is that I became a different person. I became the person that everyone else wanted me to be, not experiencing freedom to just be my young self and be my young adult self and on through the adult years. This is a very, very common defense that we build to try to gain the things that we know will fill us up. So in my working years, that was true. In even between friends or coworkers, I was always trying to perform. And the interesting thing about that is people aren't asking that we be a certain way. It's our perceptions. And when we talk later about how we can tear down this defense, this kind of defense, really releasing our perceptions is going to be the choice we can make. So when we get to that video, we'll go into more detail about that. But the interesting thing is that lack of love, it really motivates us and sets us on a path that is not healthy. And again, as we discuss the other 5 common defenses, it's all going to be about how those defenses cause us to be in captivity, to be isolated from people. And I remember just talking casually to a friend, and all of a sudden she said, "Let me tell you about my rejection story." And she had a rejection in her elementary years and in her high school years and in her college years, rejection that really caused her to always wonder, even as an adult, will people accept me? Will they want me to be part of their lives? But the key to this, and the thing that we need to realize while we're busy before performing and trying to measure up, there always is God. And He's not asking us to perform. He's just asking us to be who He's created us to be free to be that kind of person. And that's why we're talking about this whole concept of how we can experience that freedom, how we can walk on that path of freedom, to be our real selves and to be free. So as you consider parts of your life, think about, are you performing for your parents? Are you performing for your teachers? Are you performing for your coworkers? Maybe your spouse. maybe your best friend even. Because if that is your incentive to perform, to gain love and acceptance, even that is not a real return for you. So I hope that as we progress in these videos, as we name our defenses about performing to gain acceptance and putting on that invisible mask and building a wall so people won't know what is inside of us, you will begin to evaluate. You'll be able to evaluate, are those things keeping you in bondage, or are you walking in freedom? So, especially as we're talking about each of these topics, each of these defenses, and the choices that we can make to tear down these defenses, I want you to know that we're going to be talking a lot about God, because He is the one that fills in all those empty spaces. He's the one that says, just be who you are. I'm not looking for you to perform for me. Zephaniah 3:17 is one of my favorite verses because it talks about the fact that God sings love songs over us. I just think that's a wonderful picture of such acceptance. And it really can set us free if we remember who God is and the fact that He's made us just like He wanted us to be. And we are now, in these videos, headed toward how to be able to be free to be who God has made us to be. So I hope your days before we meet again will be ones of discovery and will take you closer to that journey of freedom from your fear of rejection. We'll talk again.